we are back once again on Minecraft. That's kind of true about diorite, but it's also kind of true about marbles. Yeah, you can gather cobwebs using shears. That's true. But yeah, that's kind of true about diorite. You either love it or you hate it, but I kind of like it. I think it looks a lot like marble. I had to wait to record more video because I had to hold on to the old videos while I waited for YouTube to allow me to upload more videos, because I had so many problems where I had to continuously re-upload my old videos that I actually hit my upload limit for the day of my maximum number of videos to upload in one day, which I think is like 10. So, that happens. Right. Last episode, I was dealing with this silverfish vein, and I found these diamonds, and then I had to pause the recording because I just ran out of time. Now I remember. So here I am, digging around in y equals 5 to map out these diamonds around this bedrock. And looks like it's only 2 diamonds this time, sadly. But hey, it happens. It's very low odds that it would be 2 diamonds, but yeah, it happens. I need to find my way back to my mine somehow. Oh. Okay, so my mines are up there, but there's water above me. There's an enderman over there. They're mean. You know what else are mean? Silverfish. Silverfish are incredibly mean. With a stone pickaxe? I don't think I can. Well, first let me see if there is a silverfish in this area. There was a bat, but it apparently suffered a unfortunate mishap? Question mark? I don't think it was very unfortunate. The bat apparently suffered, which is decent. Oh, that guy's just all kinds of caught up in a web of capture. They ended up standing on the magma block. That's what that sound effect was. How do I get back? Let's see. I need to build my way up there. By build, I obviously mean carve out a path to. Because how else am I going to back up? Oops, that was dirt. block sound effects do seem a little bit on the loud side. Okay. Just some leather. Two leather. Nice. Yeah, that sound effect is way louder than I remember. I shall turn down monster sound effects. No, I don't want to turn down monster sound effects. I want to turn down... Do I want to turn down? Probably just sound effects. Oh, everything reset. Okay, so weather definitely needs to drop. Friendly creatures can be 40%. Blocks can end up being about 60%. Sounds, I'll put it 80. Okay. Text-to-speech. I don't really use text-to-speech, but whenever I do, it seems to always be blaringly loud. So I want to make sure that that's not going to deafen me if it ever turns on. Okay, so I've got the leather stored up. Let's see what this guy offers. 4 emeralds for a single slime. 5 emeralds for a jungle sapling. No thanks. An emerald for 2 lily pads. An emerald for red mushrooms, which I still need because I lost all of my red mushrooms that I gathered in the nether. Because I died and then never got my stuff back. Which is annoying. Let's see... Reset from here? No. Okay. Block of redstone. Lots of redstone. Lots of coal. Let's throw... First, let's throw the gold in there. Because the gold will be more difficult to smelt up. So we want to smelt the gold first. Let's see. Craft the block of iron. And then once the gold is smelted, we'll throw the iron in, retrieve the gold. Put the gold away, put the iron away. That's going to use another block of kelp in order to smelt the rest of the iron, because each block of dried kelp will only smelt 20 items. So, but yeah, this is my mine shaft. This is where I dig for diamonds. I have recently been recovering from a silverfish infestation. That's right, I wanted these because I wanted iron pickaxes. I also wanted to put away this ungodly amounts of cobblestone I've gathered. Just loading this up. And then this chest for the polished blocks, as well as, of course, the unpolished variants. Okay. I'm going to end up needing to reclaim some of this cobblestone because I'm going to be filling in a lot of that pit over there. So I'm just going to need to have a lot of cobblestone. That being said, I'm going to need more than a few iron pickaxes. So while that's all smelting up, not sure if I want to let that wandering trader actually survive or not, but I suppose for now they're alright. Oh, I wanted an axe. That's right. I also wanted to grab some regular old torches. So let me swap out my lanterns with my torches. And then I want to... First off, I want to put away the polished granite that I just dug up. Second of all, I want to craft... Where is it? I want to craft this axe-shaped recipe because the pumpkins, the lanterns, will harvest fastest with an axe. So I will use an axe. That being said, I don't want to be left in the darkness, so I brought torches. Isn't it? Digging this low is a dangerous task. You don't really want to dig at y=3 because you might accidentally uncover lava or something. Since I'm here and I'm already digging out all this coal, I might as well. I plan to fill this in at least to y=5. So there's that. Yeah. There we go. Okay. I am making progress. In order to better utilize my equipment, I shall carve through anywhere that is in my extended reach, such as this area, for example, so that I'm able to recognize that this is A, in a cave, B, I want to be able to recognize when I need to excavate, basically. Because what I'm doing is I'm just digging from y equals 5 up to wherever the silverfish stopped, basically. Which appears to be quite a decent ways up. The reason for that is very straightforward. I don't want more silverfish. As I demonstrated last episode, if you underestimate silverfish, especially in large numbers, in large groups, a silverfish is easily able to overwhelm the player. Well, easy is probably a bit of a strong word for it, but a silverfish is able to overwhelm the player. It takes a lot of effort on the silverfish's part, but it's possible. Okay, so I want to dig out up here. I want to dig out over here as well. There we go. Then I'll just put a torch down right there. The main reason why I haven't harvested the lantern yet is because the lantern is making sure that the area up here is also spawn-proof. Okay, so that one was my bad. That's fine. Let me just fill that in. Fill that in. So yeah, as you can see, the silverfish definitely caused quite the mess, quite a lot of chaos with their digging into my realm, my layers. However, I have managed to quell them. So they shall not be as much of a immediate problem at the moment. Silverfish, of course, are not a good thing. You don't want silverfish. As much as, you know, I enjoy silver as much as the next person, but you don't want silverfish. Yeah, it's a good thing I brought a lot of cobblestone. If you're wondering why I look like that for my character model, it's because I still have the X-ray texture pack on, which is why I'm able to just look over and see all of my storage right there. As well as the zombie and wandering trader and my enchanting table. Looks to be all that's around here, actually. Yeah. Okay. And so, we dig our way through this redstone dust that we found. Right. It's incredibly dark in here. So let me put a torch down. Just kind of backfill all of this. Now I can collect the torch, and I can just finish the backfill. Because I want to make sure this is all nice and stable if I come digging through this way again. Of course, more cobblestone is needed. I need to move the torch back to here, for example. Let me make sure that I backfilled above correctly. Yes, I did. Because I didn't check. So it was kind of important that I went ahead and double checked that. Just a smidge important. Move the torch back a little more. There we go. Now I can actually withdraw this torch entirely. Now, let's see, where is my staircase? Right, dug out the staircase a little bit. Forgot about that. Dig out this redstone dust in the middle of the vein of dirt. Which is really something that I'm surprised Mojang has not included, is ore veins made with dirt. Because they have dirt veins, but they don't have dirt ore. Then again, that's probably because Mojang doesn't want to introduce ore doubling, which is quite prevalent in modded Minecraft. Ore doubling, of course, requiring you to clean the ore. So Mojang probably doesn't want to introduce that, and that's likely why we don't have ore doubling yet. As well as, you know, dirty redstone, dirty iron, stuff like that. Mojang could easily introduce the dirty ore mechanic, as all of the modding community has already done all of the groundwork for the implementation, complete with actually setting up some form of cleaning the ore, setting up some form of managing the automation of that ore. The modding community is quite dedicated, is probably the best word for it. Very dedicated group. And very intelligent as well. The modding community is so smart. However, they never managed to agree on the spelling of, what was it? Not tin, aluminum. The spelling of the word aluminum. Some people would spell it you know, aluminum, whereas others would spell it aluminium, which is great if you're in a country like Germany where they spell it that way. However, if you're in a country like America where they don't, then it's not so great, you know? So that is really loud. Is there a way I can lower the sound of eating? What would that be? Players? I think that's players. Let's set that to 75. That was actually a really lucky tap. I did not measure that at all. But yeah, aluminium is not something that that non-Americans are used to. Or sorry, is not something that Americans are used to. I mean, aluminum is not what we call aluminum over here in America. We just call it aluminum. And it's fine that you pronounce it differently and spell it differently and all that, but we really do need to agree on how a word is spelled, since it is the name of something. Word of advice, the original, has precedence. So I would go with whichever form has been existing the longest. That being said, I have no idea which one that is, so I'll just go with aluminum. If I say aluminum and you don't recognize it, I'm probably talking about aluminium. However, I don't really know if there's an actual chemical difference between the two, as there might be, and I'm just unawares of such an existence occurring, due to just lack of knowledge. Torch there. Ah, right, the iron. Okay. So yeah, this was where I died last time. I managed to uncover a decent bit of iron because of the silverfish. Silverfish do benefit you in the manner of they don't break ores. Silverfish do not infest ore blocks. So the fact that a silverfish will never take over an ore deposit is useful for locating ore deposits. However, the use of the ore deposit still requires getting rid of all of the silverfish. So silverfish are, of course, not very useful for actual excavation. But if you're looking for some form of automated mining in regular vanilla Minecraft, that probably is your best bet, is just silverfish. Just swarms and swarms of silverfish. Get yourself a nice silverfish army. Can't really go too wrong with it because, well, it's silverfish. Strong enough weapon, you can just one-shot them. And on top of that, you could probably just kill them off with magma blocks too. Looks like I'm already done filling in this silverfish vein. Nice. Now I can climb my way out of here. Get everything all nice and neatly situated. And there we go. Back to business as usual. So yeah, that was an interesting development. That was all just because I wanted to expand downwards a little. Yes, I did. Okay. Yeah. So, as you can see, it can definitely cause a lot of strife if you don't handle your silverfish. Because you can get trapped in their little silverfish mines that they dig out, and then you just end up getting wrecked by the weakest mob in the game, silverfish. At least I'm fairly sure they're the weakest. I can't really think of any hostile monsters that are actually weaker than a silverfish. Sounds as though I have a bit of a bat issue nearby. However, I don't seem to mind simply because, well, they're dying, you know? I'm managing to get the bats to die off. That's fine with me, because, man, those things are annoying. They make so much noise. I do not mind the fact that the bats are all burning up in lava. Oh man, even the paper doll's messed up. Look at that. Yeah, the X-ray texture pack is useful to a degree. So I wanted to leave that enabled while I continued to expand my mining operation. Put that away. Grab out the cobblestone. Fill in the hole in the wall. Now I return to mining. So yeah, my D&D character, I remember I was telling you about that last episode, so I shall continue telling you that as soon as I remind you to like the video, comment on the video, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Because the YouTube algorithm is, of course, very picky about what it wants to show, so if you want me to do well, then, of course, that is how you help the channel, help me, helps more than you know, as they say. Shows YouTube that this is the type of content that you want to see more of on YouTube. I know recently I had almost 1,000 impressions, as they call it, in a single day, meaning it showed it to almost 1,000 people in one day. It was over 900, which is great. You know, that did set a new record for my channel, and that was just a few days ago. I'm fairly sure some of the data is still rolling in. It's still being counted, but the quantity of data is definitely a worthwhile note. It's definitely something that is worthy of mentioning. Okay, I now need to excavate all of this. was going to need to excavate it anyways, because that's just what I was already doing. But now I have a reason. That reason is loot. Gotta get those items. It's still a little loud. The noise is definitely spiking on my end. My way over to the magma block where I have set up my water elevator. Which means I'm standing next to a damaging block as I hand dig all of these dirt blocks out. I will, of course, want to avoid doing that. Yes. That specific thing where I broke the magma block. So I put the magma block back because I want that to function still. It's still my down elevator. I just want to dig out around the magma block so I don't accidentally touch it. Because that can be a little startling when you're just excavating mindlessly and then out of nowhere you just dig into magma block and find yourself in pain. It's like, why am I hurting? Oh, right, magma block, go around. It's like, yeah, go around the magma block because otherwise, pain. Probably light up this specific section, since this section is actually technically unlit. Yeah. I'll place down a torch at least, maybe two. Let's go with one more there. And I'm also going to clear path up to here so that I have some form of ledge that I'm able to climb up on. Yeah. This looks nice. Okay, so my character Dragonis was, let's see, where did I leave off? She did her little necrotic rain attack. She wiped out a bunch of dragons, the survivors of that attack were routed by a rather well-timed and well-executed intimidation of her basically just point-blank deceiving them by saying, "Oops, my hand slipped." She said that with a rather coy expression, of course, just like, oops, my hand slipped. It's like, your hand slipped? You wiped out multiple dragons with a slip of your hand? Are you joking? It's like, whoops. It's like, what do you mean, whoops? And so the orcs, of course, ran away in fear and terror that Dragonus might do something horrible to them if they stuck around. Which, to be fair, she might have. But that being said, her options were actually quite limited, as she didn't really have much in the way of spell selection. Her options were very limited. So, were they wrong to run away? No. Were they needing to run away? No, they probably could have actually taken us out if they just continued swarming us. But they didn't know that. The enemy did not know that. So the enemy ran away, because that was the smart thing to do. And that's good, you know? It's good having your enemy being afraid of you at times, because they're your enemy, you know? Like, you don't want your enemy to be not afraid of you. That just doesn't work out in your favor. So they gathered up, materials from the battlefield. They gathered some dragon blood for alchemy reasons. They gathered, what was it? They gathered some. Oh, that was my road up. Okay, I need to place down. I'll put down dirt. But yeah, they gathered the scales, they gathered the blood, they gathered what else did they gather? They gathered, I suppose I don't need it there, but still. Yeah, they gathered a good assortment of materials of we'll call it questionable reputation, simply because the materials themselves are like dragon parts. So it's questionable of how they managed to get a hold of dragon scales, because unless they have a pet dragon of that color, they're really not going to collect scales. Like, the scales would have looked like they just molted off, because there was no skin still attached. It all got eaten away in the necrotic rain. But other than the fact that it looked like the scales were just shed, the quantity of scales was questionable, as we had harvested quite a large number. And then, while we were just carrying this stuff around, we managed to find ourselves in the we managed to find ourselves possessing a large quantity of dragon blood as well. Okay, so this guy is getting annoying with his constant sound effects, so I'm just going to quiet him. Where was I? Yes, I was putting away all of this cobblestone. That's where I was. So the scales could be explained away. The blood, not so much. So when we got to town, because we were in the black market village, Dragonis went ahead and decided, hey, let's see what we can actually make here. And she asked around for a blacksmith capable of crafting with dragon scale. She wanted some dragon scale armor, just straight up. It's like, why are you looking for a person who crafts with dragon scales? It's like, why else? I want dragon scale armor. What do you think? It's like, you're a crazy mage, you know that, right? It's like, yeah. And problem being what now? And they were just like, okay. Yeah, you want this blacksmith over here, and they gave her the directions, and it's like, okay, thank you. Have a wonderful day, blah, 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 la-di-da, nice and pleasant, and, you know, very sweet girl. That was one thing that was very notable about Dragonis, is Dragonis was always very sweet, very kind. Dragonis did not try to offend people. She didn't go out of her way to be offensive. Dragonis always wanted to be the good person. Dragonis wants to be, you know, well loved by their peers. So Dragonis tries very hard, for better or worse. Sometimes both. The various people that Dragonis ends up talking to is quite a wide variety of people, and I was honestly surprised at how well she got along with some of them, because a lot of them, like, man, they were not likable people, but Dragonis managed to find a way to get along with them, and she's just one of those characters where I know how Dragonis reacts, but even I'm not fully aware how Dragonis handles a situation until Dragonis is in that situation, because until they find themselves in that situation, I can't really say one way or another what they would do, because a lot of it is circumstantial, where you have to factor in, okay, are they recently afraid from a series of attacks that they've experienced? Are they sitting there just mostly nonplussed about the whole ordeal? Are they sitting there completely terrified? I don't know until I'm in the situation, at which point I can factor in all of the variables and be like, okay, this is how they would react. This is how they would respond. This is what they would do. And because of that, did I see? I spy with my little eye. I did. So there is a gap up ahead on my right in the floor. only way to see it is if I... Yeah. It's kind of annoying, because I won't find it until I dig out that direction. Man, that's kind of annoying. I mean, I can do it. I don't mind digging out that direction, but it's annoying because I'll have to dig around my mineshaft slope where I had my original mineshaft entrance. It looks rather nice lately. I like it at least. Yeah, some redstone. So yeah, I suppose I could set up that initial deployment phase, because I do need to dig that way a little bit to make room for this platform going that way. Now, I doubt that was actually only 2. Yeah, see? It looked like it was only 2 redstone blocks, or 2 redstone ore, I should say. But it wasn't. Instead, it was 4, and it was just disguised by the fact that the redstone ore was diagonal. See? That's why you always want to go that extra step. Dig out around the ore. Like right now, I just dug down to check diagonal from the ore, but I also need to check the diagonal of my diagonal. So I have to dig all of this out to double check that I don't have any diagonals from there. Because I had to check that block, that block, that block, that block, since the iron was where my head currently is. Seeing as I mined that out, I can of course now fill in all of this. And then I can fill in back here so nothing spawns in the meantime. Did not know I could touch the magma block from the side without getting damaged. Handy. That is handy knowledge. Let's excavate the shovel blocks first. You know, gravel, dirt, that kind of thing. Aha, good thing I did. I found emeralds. On top of that, I'm getting very vast quantities of dirt, gravel, even flint, probably. Actually, I haven't gotten any flint yet, but it's inevitable when you're digging gravel. If you ever need flint, what you want to do is you want to get yourself a shovel that has fortune, because the fortune effect of the shovel will increase the odds that the gravel will drop as flint instead of gravel. think there's even potential for getting 2 flint. However, if so, the odds are incredibly low. But yeah, it's possibly a chance that you could do it. I don't know. Maybe. More will be revealed, as my dad says.